Alright, hey, peace, what's up, y'all? D Prime 215 here. For this video, I'll just get right to it. So recently on AEW's Dynamite on April 20th, we had the Lord of Announcements, better known as the CEO and President of All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan, announced that AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling will be doing a show together on June 26th in Chicago, Illinois, called The Forbidden Door. So when I first heard the name, I busted out laughing because I was surprised that AEW New Japan would actually go with that name. But once I got past that, I thought about it. I'm like, well, it kind of makes sense. You know, the connotation most, usually associated with that is New Japan and AEW. When you hear Forbidden Door, you typically think of those two companies, working with each other in some capacity. And over the years, they work with each other in, some capacities, with talent appearing on, either AEW, New Japan, right? So when it came down to it, I'm like, that makes all the sense in the world. Go with the low-hanging fruit. The value is already there. The connotation is already there. Go with that. So as for the actual show, be advised, as of this video, nothing has been announced. Not only that, nothing has been announced for AEW's Double or Nothing, which is on May 29th. So this is like super reaction, speculation, so on and so forth, right? So as for the show, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling have incredibly stacked rosters. What I'm expecting to see will be a balance of tag team matches and singles matches. If you think back to Wrestle Kingdom 16 on night 3 when New Japan did New Japan versus Noah, there were more tag matches than singles matches, right? So that's kind of the layout that I think that they'll go with. As far as some of the matches that I would like to see, this is just me. I would love to see CM Punk versus Kenta, because we need that match, right? We just need that. Somebody need to be put to sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. We need that match, right? And then I need Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. That match will be the technical wizardry masterclass. Like that match would be amazing, right? And let me address the elephant in the room. Actually, before that, I would love to see Andrade versus Tetsuya Naito, Los Ingobernables. We gotta see who is the most ungovernable, right? So to address the elephant in the room in regards to Danielson and Punk, both Danielson and Punk have expressed interest in wrestling Kazuchika Okada, and Okada has reciprocated that interest. However, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of joint shows tend to have a good amount of tag team matches. So I'm not expecting Okada to wrestle either Punk or Danielson as of this video. However, as I mentioned, Double or Nothing is on May 29th. What it looks like might happen at Double or Nothing is potentially CM Punk versus the current AEW heavyweight champion Adam Page. If that match happens, we might get Punk as a new AEW champion, because I do think it's a good chance that, the heavyweight champions of each company will wrestle each other in a singles match. We'll see if they do that or if they do a tag match. So if Punk does become champion at Double or Nothing, given that that match even happens at Double or Nothing, I could see Punk versus Okada. If not, and even if it does happen, I'm still looking at more likely a match, a tag match with perhaps Okada and Tanahashi versus Punk and Danielson. This is all just pure speculation, as I mentioned a couple times throughout this video. I probably will continue to mention, right? So that's what I look at, potentially happening there, as far as like matches that I would love to see and what I think could happen at the same time, right? And also another thing we got to address, another elephant in the room. There are two talents in particular, one talent from AEW, one talent from New Japan. Both of these talents they've been out for some time, kind of rehabbing like their health, because they had some health issues and injuries, stuff like that. On the AEW side, we have Kenny Omega. Omega has been out for quite some time, ever since he dropped the belt to Adam Page. I think it was a Revolution, or the one before that. I forget the pay-per-view off the top of my head, but he dropped the belt to Adam Page. And since then, he's been out. He was rehabbing like vertigo and a lot of other ailments that he had over the years. It's crazy to think like Kenny Omega was wrestling with vertigo. Like the room was spinning. I still can't believe he managed to pull that off. So all the best to him. I wonder if Kenny Omega, if he's medically cleared to return, I've seen some sites saying he was, others saying he wasn't, who knows, other than Kenny for real and his doctors. But if Kenny is cleared to return, right, will he return at Forbidden Door? Also, if he does return at Forbidden Door, will he wrestle? Elephant in the room. Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada have a storied rivalry. They have wrestled each other 4 times, and a lot of people would love to see a 5th match between these two. Will they wrestle each other at Forbidden Door? Who knows? I honestly don't even think Kenny Omega has to wrestle. I think all he has to do is like have a stare down with Kazuchika Okada for 45 seconds, or just have like a vignette play, and I'm sure Dave Meltzer will give that, 500 stars. That's a tongue-in-cheek joke, by the way. I couldn't help it, right? But who knows how Kenny Omega, like if he'll be there, or whatever the situation is. On the New Japan side, we have Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi's been out, I believe, since the last G1 Climax, G1 Climax 31, when he missed the Phoenix Splash, which appeared to be a planned spot. And however, when he landed his, I forget which arm it was, but like something happened, dislocated, broken, whatever. It was pretty serious, and he's been out for some time. Last I read, he was trying to be ready in time for the G1 Climax 32. However, what if he's cleared? What if he's able to appear at Forbidden Door? What if he appears at Forbidden Door? Who knows? If he appears at Forbidden Door and Kenny's there, will they try and do a Golden Lovers thing? Or, well, who knows what could happen? But those are two things. Those are two people that I would, that I would love to see at Forbidden Door, but like a lot of mystery hangs around. So I would love to see how that all pans out more so. And last thing too, I saw there were a number of, ever since the show has been announced, and even since before the show has been announced, a lot of people, whether it be on YouTube or social media, they'll do videos and posts about matches they would love to see. They would play like the latest 2K game and make a whole show video montage out of it. So anyway, I saw one on Reddit, I believe, and it was a match. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Jeff Cobb versus Samoa Joe. I'm like, why didn't I think of this match? This is the match that we need. I think the world needs this match and don't even realize it, because that match would be absolute banger. But yeah, there you have it. So as you could tell from my tone, I'm very excited for the Forbidden Door. How do you guys feel about the show? Are you excited, disinterested, against it, or however apathetic, however you feel? What are some of the dream matches that you would love to see at Forbidden Door? And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to yours truly, D Prime 215. And the question I want to know, the answer I need is, will the Forbidden Door be kicked in with the 4-4? Notorious. If you know, you know. Alright, so we'll see if this hitting for at Forbidden Door. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Peace.